Good morning. Great to see you all. My name is Neil Steinberg, and I have the honor and privilege of being the president and CEO of the Rhode Island Foundation. And we're here today as part of our centennial celebration. We're 100 years old this year on June 13th. We will be exactly 100 years old, and something that we're celebrating. So I wanted to thank you for joining us. I want to thank the governor for joining us. We have several people here with us who I will try to recognize quickly. Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Avedisian, Mayor Baldelli Hunt, Town Administrator Almond, Mayor Murray, and Director Coit. And if I missed anybody, I will take license to apologize and thank you all for joining us today. I want to especially thank Mayor Lombardi. He assured us that it would be beautiful weather, so we agreed to do it here, and he came through. I won't ask how he arranged it, but he did, and said something about praying, and all of his staff for arranging for us to be at beautiful Camp Meehan, which he reminded me at one time was possibly going to be house lots, and now is a beautiful recreation area. I also heard our esteemed leaders from Cumberland and Lincoln arguing about where the line was and where their land is up, but we won't get into that. So our purpose today is to announce $500,000 of grants from the Rhode Island Foundation. Again, as part of our celebrating our centennial. I want to make it clear this is $500,000 in addition to the grants that we do every year. So we're not taking it from one area and another. This is in addition that our board agreed that we wanted to make this commitment to the state. And the other thing we decided when we did this program is that we wanted to make it not only available to, but to have every city and town, 39 cities and towns, each receive a grant. And thanks to our grant staff, and thanks to the applications we got, and a committee, we will be giving out grants to each city and town. My colleague, Jessica David, who's Senior Vice President at the Rhode Island Foundation, she conceived this whole Centennial Community Grant application process and the whole awarding process, and she will tell you in a few minutes about the specifics of the program, and we'll tell you, and you'll hear from some of the grant recipients. As I said, we're fortunate to be joined by the governor, and glad that she can help celebrate the 39 cities and towns that she has purview over. And we have 6 of our grant recipients who will tell you how they're going to use those grants. North Providence Mayor Lombardi, Bevan Lindsley, Project Director from the Aquidneck Community Table, Chris Simpson, Artistic Director from the Contemporary Theater Company, Marcia Sullivan, Executive Director from the East Greenwich Housing Authority, Jan Reitzman, Interim Town Manager of the Town of Warren, Dan Grabowski, CEO and founder of the Boys and Girls Club of Woonsocket. So you can see that not only are we geographically spread, but you will hear, thank you, Mayor, we will hear about different types of programs that will reach different constituencies and different members of the Rhode Island community. Many of our other grant recipients are also with us here today, and we can't wait to hear and, more importantly, see. I wanted to actually go out to every city and town and deliver checks, but I was advised against that. It was just too cumbersome. But I would love to hear from all the grant recipients after the fact and have us be able to come out and see the projects, the programs, and the initiatives that are done. So the Rhode Island Foundation, for those of you who don't know, as I said, we're 100 years old. We're the largest and most comprehensive funder to the nonprofits in the community, and it would be not possible for us to do this work if it weren't for donors who over many, many years very generously have collaborated and inspired us with their funds at the Rhode Island Foundation. We would not be able to do this without the community leaders who we work with all the time in collaboration and to get things done, including many of the nonprofits who do the boots on the ground work. So our job and our opportunity and our privilege is to invest in Rhode Island, and that's what I love to say that we do. We invest in the people of Rhode Island, we invest in things that are going on, and we invest in a positive Rhode Island. We were founded June 13th, 1916, as I said, with $10,000. That was the first gift from industrialist and later Senator Jesse Metcalf. We've grown our assets to nearly $800 million. In the last 5 years alone, we've awarded about $165 million in grants. And that sounds like a lot, and it's not enough. As we all know, the need and the opportunities in Rhode Island abound, and so together we want to build that even more and be able to support the community in our next 100 years. This is just one of a series of activities that we're doing for our centennial. We're doing a major project around Roger Williams Park to bring that back as the state's crown jewel of parks, in addition to Camp Meehan. And we've launched a $10 million campaign that will help restore both the capital assets and the endowment there. One of our great partners, Keith Lang from the Champlin Foundation, is here and is very, very active with us, as he has been here, and we thank Champlin for all they do in the state of Rhode Island. We're going to have our annual meeting on June 13th at the park. I don't know if we'll outdraw Bernie. That is our goal, but I don't know if we'll do it. But you're all invited to come on June 13th. We're going to have big tents out in front of the Temple to Music and celebrate Rhode Island and the foundation. We're also looking at, and it's being finalized, and you'll hear about it, hopefully doing a concert with the Philharmonic out at Roger Williams Park like they used to do decades ago, including people in boats coming up from the water. So in any event, I want to turn it over now to our governor, Governor Raimondo, the state of Rhode Island's leader. Her commitment, her vision, and hard work, and as she said, with a lot more hard work to come, will take us forward in this, and we're very glad to have you here.
Thank you, Neil. I first want to begin by recognizing my colleagues in government. I'm so lucky to have terrific colleagues, many of whom are here. We have the Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Abedisian, Mayor Bardelli Hunt, Town Administrator from Lincoln, Joe Allman, Mayor Murray. It is wonderful to have everyone here. And of course, the great Mayor Charlie Lombardi. Now, this is amazing. I think we all drove up here, or I did certainly, and said, wow, the mayor gave me a little tour of the back, and it is so impressive what you've done here. And it was his leadership with his team, but also a real collaborative effort among the towns. So thank you. And it's really a wonderful place, and will be a wonderful place for many families to be able to enjoy. We're here, of course, today to celebrate the Rhode Island Foundation's 100th anniversary. For 100 years, the foundation has given back to our neighbors and friends and great causes in Rhode Island. And as Neil said, they started with $10,000, and now they give away tens of millions of dollars. Rhode Island is stronger because of the Rhode Island Foundation's generosity. I have to say, it's more than just the money. As governor, the foundation has been a fantastic partner in all of our efforts. Job training, skill development, coming up with an economic development strategy. So the money, we need the money, and it's terrific, but it's really a real partner as we rebuild Rhode Island and rebuild this economy. And of course, what better way to celebrate the 100th anniversary than for them to give out another $500,000. So please join me in thanking Neil and the Rhode Island Foundation for their great It's especially fitting, and I think a real testament to their commitment to making sure that Rhode Island is strong, that they've chosen to have these 39 city and town grants. And I have to say I think Neil's going to go through them later, but they're terrific. It's everything from bike lanes and bike paths and parks, which I know, not just as a governor, but as a mother with my children, how valuable those things are for the families of Rhode Island. But also, terrific projects like the one in East Greenwich, where they're bringing donated books to more than 100 children at affordable housing development. We all know how important it is to read to children, and this is just one project that's going to make that able for 100 plus children and families. So from community gardens in Newport, Charlestown Land Trust Farmers Market, Healthy Rhode Island, it's terrific, and I feel very lucky not only to be surrounded by mayors and town administrators who work hard every day to make Rhode Island stronger, but to have community partners like the Rhode Island Foundation who say, yes, we want to be part of a Rhode Island comeback. We want to be part of a healthy, strong, vibrant Rhode Island, and we're going to do our part. So thank you, Rhode Island Foundation, and everyone here.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it and appreciate your support and leadership. I'd now like to introduce my colleague, Jessica David, who will give you more detail on this exciting program.
Good morning. I have the privilege of telling you a little bit more about this program and some of the exciting projects that we were able to fund thanks to all of you in the audience. As Neil said, we're celebrating our centennial by funding projects that will help bring to life every one of Rhode Island's remarkable cities and towns. And this program and these projects are about making community, about giving people an opportunity to come together to learn from and with and about one another, to learn more about their place and their history, and then to share the things that make their community special with the rest of the state. And our hope is that through these projects, our communities will grow stronger, even stronger, and blossom even more as the work rolls out. And today's grant recipients, I'm not a surprise to all of you, are really an extraordinary group. We received 200 applications for this program from nonprofit organizations, from community-based partnerships, from municipal governments, public agencies, and we were able to fund just 43 of those applications, but 43 really terrific applications. And there is, as Neil said, at least one project in every single one of Rhode Island cities and towns, which we're really proud of. The largest grant was $15,000, but they really run the gamut in terms of the size. And the uses include, as the governor described, things like creating bike lanes and neighborhood libraries and designing walking tours for residents, planting community gardens and installing historical markers and monuments around our communities. And all of the work that's being funded is expected to be complete by the end of this year, so we're really looking forward to seeing this roll out and make an immediate impact. If you'd like to know more about the projects, we have descriptions of all 43 on our website at 100.rhodeislandfoundation.org. I also want to thank a donor of the foundation, Ann Sage, who helped to co-fund this project very generously. And we are really grateful for Ann's confidence in our community and obviously in our foundation. And to have her as a partner is a tremendous sign for us, and we're very grateful. One thing I think that we've learned at the foundation about community is that it's really impossible to predict how things will evolve and roll out and how relationships will develop. So one of the things we're most excited about with this program and these projects is to see them be implemented and to see where you all take them. And so we really look forward over the next several months to working with you all and to learning from you all as you do so. So thank you again.
Thank you, Jessica. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our host, the esteemed Mayor of North Providence, Charles Lombardi. North Providence received $15,000 to create and install signage and build a gazebo on the waterfront of this wonderful site. Mayor Lombardi.
Next time you come, Neil, make sure this podium is a little shorter, please.
I would appreciate that.
Same request from the governor.
Carry a big stick down there.
So good morning and welcome to North Providence. First, I'd like to thank Neil Steinberg and the Rhode Island Foundation for choosing Camp Meehan for such a special occasion, which affords me the opportunity to congratulate all other recipients here today. I'm also happy to tell you, I think Neil already told you, that the Rhode Island Foundation is celebrating 100 years of doing good for everyone, by the way. So congratulations, Neil. Great job. So Governor Raimondo, Lieutenant Governor McKee, I see a couple of our council people here, Councilman Giusti, Councilman Fiola, and all of my other colleagues in government, as you see standing here today. But there are other individuals that I must recognize, because without their help and support, what you see here this morning, ladies and gentlemen, would not be possible. So that thanks goes out to our DEM Director Janet Coit and her staff. The Champlin Foundation, Keith Lane, thank you very much. So I know that Neil had mentioned about where the town line is here. So I want to thank my good friend, Town Administrator Joe Allman from Lincoln. I must confess, the Lincoln town line is about 150 feet to the north. And also Lisa Randosher, our consultant and grant writer. Our DPW director, Bernard Salvatore. Bernie, thank you very, very much. Our maintenance director, Jim Fioroli, I know you're out there somewhere. These guys killed themselves the last couple of weeks to make this property available and get it ready as soon as possible. So thank you. We're approximately 90% complete here. When you tour this facility, you'll see what I'm talking about. Bless you. We hope to cut the ribbon in approximately 4 to 6 weeks. So we were informed a couple of weeks ago by the Rhode Island Foundation that we would be receiving a grant to build a new gazebo. And it's going to be built right there about 100 feet to my right. And we were also asked at that time if we would host this award ceremony. So you have no idea what that meant to me, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are familiar with the history of this property know what I'm saying. And for those of you that do not, I will explain. I wasn't the mayor. I didn't know I would be running for mayor or would become the mayor. Approximately 2 years prior to me running for mayor. So I'm sitting in my business in the town of Lincoln, by the way. And I'm reading that the town of Lincoln is going to be purchasing their portion of Camp Meehan. And coming from small business, I've learned one thing. That you purchase the property that abuts yours just for protection. So I'm thinking, we own Knotty Park. There's approximately 18 acres here in the middle, and Lincoln is purchasing approximately 50 acres. And I'm thinking, what's going on? So, as a citizen, by the way, and I have the minutes in my office, I thought it was the right thing to go to the town council at that time, as a taxpayer, and urge them to purchase this property. So I go to the town council. And they told me, Charlie, don't worry about it. It's zoned open space. I said, okay. I go back 6 months later, because I'm hearing a little buzz in town. And I'm saying, you're running out of time. You need to purchase that property. And in the minutes, it states that I tell them, please don't tell me that you think that someone's going to purchase that property to lay their blanket on the beach. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. Go back 3 months later, 2 developers involved. Now is a special election. We run for mayor. Without the support of a lot of people, by the way. Especially the people that wanted to develop this property. It was Dick Foster and I who were on our own. But in any case, win. Our first order of business was to take on this fight, because I knew how important it was to the residents and the taxpayers of this town. We meet with the capital city's nonprofit at the time. And I'll never forget this. So we're upstairs in the Citizens Bank building in Providence, and we meet with the legal people that were responsible for capital cities. And the young lady, very, very intelligent, sharp attorney, she said, "Mayor, you're very upset." I said, "I am." She said, "Don't be upset with us. We offered this to the town on 3 different occasions." So we went to court, Supreme Court. We own the property today. We knew one thing, that the town of North Providence, by the way, had the least amount of open space per capita left in the state of Rhode Island. So I'm saying, why would we give this up? Why wouldn't we protect this for our kids, their kids, and their kids? It made no sense to me. So this is very, very touching for me to be here and take pride in what you see. My vision was exactly what you see here today. 2.5 miles of trails, an extended beach, a police storefront, and in addition to our summer program for the youth of our community. As you see, this facility is breathtaking. And I've been told by a number of people, when you come here and you look around, you really don't know where you are. So, we're going to make sure that the residents of our town take full advantage of what I consider, ladies and gentlemen, to be one of the crown jewels of our state. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look around. This could be, by the way, coming from business, this could be the perfect venue for your next family celebration or other gathering. So in closing, again, let me thank the Rhode Island Foundation for utilizing our new facility for this memorable occasion. Thank you again. God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor. Your rare combination of vision and implementation and being able to get things done. And I just heard a rumor that there will be a window here where you could drop off your dry cleaning too. Which would be a full-service park, unique probably in the United States. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce Bevan Lindsley. Bevan is the project director for the Aquidneck Community Table, and her organization received $12,000 to create the first community garden in Newport. It'll be a 24-plot garden which will be built at the Friends Meeting House site in downtown Newport. Bevan?
Good morning. Newport is known the world over for breathtaking yachts and impressive mansions, but a lot less is known about the food security challenges of many of its residents. With almost 70% of the students in Newport Public Schools receiving free lunches, it means that their families live below the federal poverty level. Not only that, but there are many public housing units in downtown Newport where people don't have transportation and have to rely on bodegas and fast food joints and food pantries for their groceries. Our work this past year with Newport Health Equity Zone and Newport Historical Society, owner of the property at the Great Friends Meeting House where the garden will be, and the Martin Luther King Community Center, which is just a couple of blocks away. That work has revealed how many people in the surrounding community not only would like to improve their diets, but would like to learn how to cook and would like to learn how to grow vegetables. There's not much open space in the area around Great Friends Meeting House. So a community garden is our solution, because not only does it provide fresh vegetables to the household of the gardener, but it also teaches children a lifelong skill for self-sufficiency. It brings people together across boundaries that so often divide us, and it creates a space for rejuvenation and solace in this busy world we live in. So we support the Rhode Island Foundation, and we celebrate the 100 years with this first community garden in Newport, which we hope will be the first of many, and will also be a step towards achieving the 50 by 60 food vision of Food Solutions New England. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bevan. Sounds like a great project, and we look forward to seeing it. Now my pleasure to introduce Chris Simpson. Chris is the artistic director at the Contemporary Theater in South Kingston. This organization received $15,000 to present a summer series, a performance series, to enhance its public performance patio. And we're going to hear about that from Chris now.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I have to admit I had not yet been to this park. We joke down in Wakefield, Rhode Island about the Cranston-Dixon line that separates all of us from all of you sometimes. And it's a real phenomenon that we face. So I'd encourage you to come down in the summer weather and check out South County, all of the great arts and cultural facilities we have down there, as well as the Contemporary Theater Company. We've been around for 12 years in our community, and 5 years ago we moved onto Main Street in Wakefield, which is in the middle of a tremendous resurgence. 25 years ago, Main Street was really in dire straits, like many of the main streets and downtowns in our area. But now, thanks to the investment of local businesses, governments, the Rhode Island Foundation, and many other organizations, Wakefield, like many towns, is on its way back up, and we're very proud to be at the heart of that. The Contemporary Theater Company has a theater space, about a 100-seat theater that we rent right on Main Street, but behind that facility that we rent, we have purchased in the last year an entire building that used to be a medical facility and the outdoor space around it. And in that space, adjacent to both the Saugatucket River, which is our historic river in Wakefield, and adjacent also to a pedestrian bridge that connects to the South County Bike Path, which is a major thoroughfare for pedestrian and bicycle traffic, and also connects to the Wakefield Elementary School, where many hundreds of the youth of our area and the high school nearby travel regularly. So we're right at the hub of a great nexus of public transportation and outdoor space, and of course arts and education in the cultural downtown of Wakefield. So what we have on this river is now a 5,000 square foot performance patio. Our theater last year served about 12,000 audience members in our community of 30,000 people, which, if you can imagine, is a tremendous feat. And with this outdoor space, we'll be able to add free outdoor performances. Shakespeare on the Saugatucket on Wednesday and Sunday evenings. Family performances in the evenings. We have a great river fire event that's quite different from another similar event in Providence, but at the same time, that brings members of our community out to gather for arts. There's an art stroll, there's live music, and now we'll be a part of that with family arts activities in the evenings throughout the summer months as well, and all through the fall into the holidays, where last year on this patio, we had a 22-foot Christmas tree that was a source for caroling and fun and some charitable events that happened out there. So that's the performance space. And with this grant, we're going to be able to install bike racks, benches, sound and lighting equipment to make sure that it's safe and amenable at all times of day. And we'll also have a number of other features that we're able to sort of enhance to make these events possible. We're very proud to be using the arts not only for major theater performances, like many of the theaters in the state do, but also for community events that get people of all walks of life, all ages and all abilities, both on stage and in the seats. And this patio is a tremendous part of our expansion to do that, bringing the arts into the lives of the people of South County. And we're very proud to do that. We're proud for the support, of course, from the Rhode Island Foundation and for this grant and the whole community of folks here. Like I said, please come visit, cross the Cranston-Dixon line, and we'd love to see you all soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. Sounds like a great idea for a new T-shirt. Cranston-Dixon line, I'm sure Dog and Toad or somebody will do. It's now my pleasure to introduce Marcia Sullivan, who's the Executive Director of the East Greenwich Housing Authority. And the authority, with its affiliate, Cove Homes, Inc., received a $1,500 grant to construct and manage 3 Little Free Libraries. Does everybody know what a Little Free Library is? They're really cool. They are little birdhouse-like boxes where you can go and borrow and leave books, which are proliferating around the state. We're trying to get one downtown in front of our building, too, so we can read in our off time. And these are going to be at 3 affordable housing developments for families in East Greenwich.
Thank you, Neil. First, the question I get asked most has already been answered. There is affordable housing in East Greenwich, almost 300 units of it. One of our developments is relatively new. We just got a certificate of occupancy about almost a year ago to the day. And Cindy Overton is here. She is the chair of the Board of Commissioners. She and her son are actually going to be constructing the Little Free Outdoor Libraries, which are going to be big enough to hold about 20 books, including large picture books for children. Karen Taylor, who's the director of the East Greenwich Library, is also here, and she reminded me to make the boxes big enough for the smallest readers. How does this build community? Well, it's about storytelling and sharing stories, and I think we've been building communities that way since about 13,000 BC, so it's not an entirely new idea. There aren't a lot of low-income serving entities in East Greenwich, so people come to the Housing Authority a lot for a lot of different things, for housing, of course, but also for other basic needs. But the larger community comes to us to make donations, make charitable contributions. I get a lot of book offers, a lot of offers of book donations. So this is a great way to get those books into the hands of people who will enjoy them. I also want to connect our parents, who are mostly young single mothers, to the services of the public library, services like Mother Goose Storytime, which is for readers aged 3 months to 23 months, and integrates reading, music, and motion. So I thank you, Rhode Island Foundation, for your support and for joining our community and for being part of our story.
Thanks very much, Marcia. And now I'd like to introduce Jan Reitzma, interim town manager of the town of Warren. They will receive $15,000 to repair and restore full public access to the Jamiel Park outdoor skating rink.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Neil. Thanks for the compromise of the height of the... Thanks to the Rhode Island Foundation for this grant and for this event as well. Congratulations on your anniversary. I want to echo what has been said about the incredibly important role the foundation plays in the state, supporting so many worthwhile projects, but also being a convener at times when it's necessary, and brokering collaboration on so many levels and between so many sectors. So thank you for all of that. Thank you, North Providence and Mayor Lombardi, for hosting this event. This is a wonderful spot. I can't help myself, but I do want to give credit again to the Department of Environmental Management and its director for making these kinds of projects possible. We're also working in Warren very closely with the department on both open space and recreational projects. What DEM is able to do is, I think, very similar to what the foundation is trying to do, which is really helping communities make progress on the goals that they have that are sometimes difficult to achieve, and to be a catalyst for larger efforts that are being made in the communities. In Warren, we're very happy that we can now move forward on a project that's long overdue. It's an older facility, a recreational facility, that has seen better times, if we're honest about it. Some time ago, the town went through a very bad budget situation. We have not been able to keep up with all the maintenance that needs to be done. I know that's a unique situation for municipalities. But we are determined that we are going to come back from that, and that we are sprucing things up, not just at this facility, but elsewhere in town as well. And we really need the help for this. This used to be a facility, I was just told by our Recreation Director, Tara Thibodeau, who's here, and also our town planner, Kate Michaud, is here. This used to be a facility that was full every single night. And that says something about what these facilities can mean in communities like Warren. Recreational facilities are important no matter what. But in towns like Warren, where we can't say we are a rich town, we won't be able to say that for quite some time, it is important that we can provide these facilities, that they are in good shape, that they are safe, that they are attractive, and they get used. And this facility and being able to upgrade the skating rink is something that really has a lot of value in the community. It also brings the community together. Like other towns, we have newcomers, we have old-timers. Sometimes people wonder if they're getting together. These facilities bring back the whole community so that we know we're one town and we're working on revitalizing it and becoming a healthy, prosperous community. I want to once again thank the foundation and everyone else on staff there as well. That is so important. You work very closely with us, which is a wonderful benefit for making this possible, and we'll put this to good use. We're going to upgrade this facility within the next couple of months. I also want to mention that our arts community, which is a big part of Warren, that we're famous for, is very much involved. The entire town of Warren is an arts district. Our arts community is very involved in town affairs, and we do have a lot of volunteers, which is another great thing in Warren. But the arts community is going to work with us to incorporate public art in the upgrade of this facility, and we're actually working with the recreational program for children to make that happen. So the children and the arts community are going to work with us to enhance this recreational facility. Thanks to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, John. And our last speaker I'd like to welcome is Dan Grabowski, who's the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Woonsocket. The Boys and Girls Club received $8,000 to restore a basketball court located behind the club on land it recently purchased from the city.
You know, you look up in the sky, you see a plane, and you say to yourself, that's reality. But you know, it was a dream in the mind of Orville and Wilbur Wright before it ever happened. You flip on a light switch in your room, on go the lights, that's reality. But it was a dream in the mind of Thomas Edison before it ever happened. You pull out that iPhone, you call a friend, you dial up the internet, but it was a dream in the mind of Steve Jobs before it ever happened. Today, the Boys and Girls Club complex in Woonsocket is a reality. It's unique because in the 100-year history of Woonsocket, there has never been a Boys and Girls Club. Its purpose for youth is academic success, healthy lifestyles, and good character and citizenship. The physical complex today is unique because the building is 20,000 square feet, four stories of a brick construction built in 1895, known as the Kendrick Avenue School. Today it's a full functioning Boys and Girls Club. Around it, we have a brand new parking lot, which is direly needed because we're in a residential neighborhood. We have a 1,700 square foot splash park, which the kids absolutely love when the water comes through the ground and through the buckets and the rainfall. And in the back, we've acquired from the city, with their help, a playground that we restored and the basketball court, which we talked about, that the Rhode Island Foundation helped. But you know, when dreams go to reality, I've been around a long time in the Boys and Girls Club world, over 20 years. I know that you need to develop long-lasting relationships, and the relationships with individuals, corporations, and foundations. Now, when we talk about individuals, these are people who volunteer their time, whether it's on a board or to work with kids. They volunteer their expertise if they're a lawyer or an architect. They volunteer their money. Corporations, one like CVS, sends its employees to help out with programs, to do projects in the club, and also a percentage of their profits to help the club out. When you get to foundations, they grant monies. People like the Champlin Foundation, the Fidelity Foundation, the June Rockwell Levy Foundation, and of course, why we're here today, the Rhode Island Foundation. And I appreciate the opportunity today to personally say thank you to the Rhode Island Foundation for helping my dream, the Boys and Girls Club, become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. I want to once again thank Mayor Lombardi and his staff for hosting us in this beautiful day in this beautiful place. I want to thank Governor Raimondo for coming, for her leadership and engagement and celebrating positive Rhode Island. These are all great stories, and I want to appreciate everybody that submitted an application, everybody that got to speak, those who were going to do projects that didn't get to speak, because we're not the ones who are going to benefit. There are going to be people in every city and town throughout the state that will engage in, enjoy, and benefit from these projects, and it's very important. So I'm going to close. I would suggest, as you walk out to the parking lot to your car, walk a little slower. Take a little look around. I had a flashback. I was a camp counselor for many years. I thought I was supposed to announce part of you go to crafts, part of you go to swimming, and lunch, but we don't have the chance to do that. But we don't often get the chance in the middle of a nice day, in a nice park, in a beautiful state of Rhode Island, to enjoy it. So with that, thank you all for coming, and thanks for all you do for the state of Rhode Island. Mayor just told me there are refreshments here, not a concession stand, right, Mayor? Okay, there are concessions here for everybody that would like to, and hope you can join us. Thank you very much.
Please join us on the red deck for some coffee and Danish and stuff.